The Cleveland Browns have been back on the practice fields as a whole unit for only two OTAs to this point. And yes, some things are already getting completely out of hand. We're going to talk about it. Browns 3D on the OBR starts now. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound Browns 3D on the OBR streaming network. We appreciate all of you who come to the OBR every day, whether it is read the fantastic content from our great group of writers or joining us every night on the OBR streaming network beginning at 6 p.m. Browns 3D, Monday through Friday at 6. Of course, a ton of other shows throughout the week. Of course, all eyes on Cleveland will be following us. Brad Ward, Casey Kinnaman. Make sure you stick around for that, and make sure you're subscribed to the OBR on YouTube, and of course to the OBR over on Twitch. I absolutely love covering the Cleveland Browns. I 100% do. The fan base is a passionate group, and for all that they've been through, to still basically fire it up every year, it's inspiring. It's what fandom is all about. But there are some things that certainly, are a little bit crazy. Does anybody truly care what Myles Garrett is doing right now? And, leadership. Leadership exists in the NFL, but certainly does not exist in the NFL the way that some fans perceive it to. Is Myles Garrett a leader of the Cleveland Browns? 100%. Does that mean Myles needs to be at organized team activities? It does not. Look, apparently, and I'll be honest, I don't know if we've ever really had this with Myles ever. You know, apparently Myles is in a relationship to the point where we actually are being told that Myles is in a relationship, and we've actually been told the name of the person he is in the relationship with. In Japan, some sort of anime convention award ceremony. Once I heard that, that didn't really surprise me. I mean, we all know that this is something that, Myles enjoys. Myles has always been somebody who has not, backed away from the fact that he has a life and has interests outside of the NFL. I mean, if y'all remember, this is the same guy that threw a, Game of Thrones finale party. This is the same guy that tried to set up a dog meet and greet with fans. And if you remember, his dog actually got sick and apparently crapped all over the car or whatever back in the day. But Myles Garrett being out of the country while organized team activities are going on are not going to hamper the first third and long week one when the Cleveland Browns host the Cincinnati Bengals. Myles Garrett also not being at organized team activities is not going to change the fact that when he leans down into the huddle, when it's, a tough spot for this team and says, boys, we got to get this, he's still going to be the leader. People are still going to listen. With time in the league, with success in the league, with proving that you are one of the best players in the league, with proving that when chips are down or a play needs to be made, Myles Garrett has always been the guy that has been able to step up and do that. So to question why he's not at OTAs, but yet going to question his leadership skills. Well, Joe Bitonio was a leader on this team. Joe Bitonio was absent. Jack Conklin is a solid veteran, former All-Pro in the NFL. He's not there. David Njoku has always been a vocal leader, has always been a guy you can count on. This man once got burned significantly in his face, on a Friday night, and still suited up for a 1:00 game on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. That is what leaders do. Questioning the leadership First things first, we're fans. In the beginning, we are fans, okay? You don't know essentially who the leaders are within the Cleveland Browns locker room. None of you know. You only know what players or coaches tell us. Who are we to question world-class professional athletes on how they lead? Or, can you please fill out your leadership skills resume so I can critique it? Bob from Chagrin Falls. Some of this stuff just gets so ridiculous. And again, it's a small minority of this fan base. It truly is. And, I think some people want to equate it to the fact that, you know what? I used to lead the calisthenics. I used to lead the calisthenics back in 87 when I was the JV center. And guys, stop. It's professional athletes. It's professional sports. It's a world that nobody, unless you've been there, can even completely come close to comprehend. Okay? It's enough already. Okay? Myles Garrett is the best player on the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett has been the best best player on the Cleveland Browns since the day he got here. He will remain to be the best player on the Cleveland Browns. This is why they're called voluntary. He will wear that C on his chest next year. He will wear that C on his chest as long as he is a player for this franchise. No fan is to question him or why he is out of the country or why. Who cares? Are you playing the Cincinnati Bengals today? Is it week 1 today? No. Then stuff a sock in it and let it go. Myles Garrett is a leader by far and away. There were times Myles Garrett was playing Dungeons and Dragons with third string tight ends and reserve offensive linemen. That's what leaders do. They get together with their teammates. Sometimes they don't. It's just got to stop. Now, in regards to Shedeur Sanders, and this is the part where I'm going to defend all of the Browns fans who are willing and trying to get Shedeur as high as possible on top of the Cleveland Browns depth chart. What do Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel right at this point bring to Cleveland Browns fans? Hope. They haven't had it in 3 seasons. This fan base and their fans basically had to sign up with their fandom for a guy that wouldn't walk across the street to shake his hand. Never a leader. We all still thought he was this elite player and performer. Got paid like one. Played like, I don't even know what's an accurate description to describe his play. And I really thought he was turning a quarter in 2023. And I really thought the Browns would have been successful in 2023 if Deshaun Watson was able to finish that season. But when he took that field last year and what we saw was hot garbage. Just was not good. It was terrible play. There's just no way around it. He was not good. He was terrible. Terrible, in the words of Charles Barkley. So why, for all these fans who basically signed up their fandom for a guy they wanted nothing to do with, are we now trying to give them all a hard time for being excited for Shedeur Sanders? He's the kin of NFL legacy, Hall of Fame, one of the biggest, brightest stars and personalities in the history of the NFL. And his son, who I'll freely admit I had some issues with some of his play. And all I said was, this is not a guy I would draft at number 2 overall. So there's nothing wrong with this fan base wanting to embrace Shedeur Sanders, having hope for Shedeur Sanders. This is what fandom is. And a lot of these fans tried to hitch their wagon to the star of so many other guys. Why can't you just let them enjoy it? Everybody, tries to, break them down and, question their fandom or question why they're so excited about something. The Browns just drafted 7 rookies. There's a good chance all of them will play significant time here in 2025 because I think the Cleveland Browns will probably play both the quarterbacks at some point. It's certainly going to create an awkward situation for this team in regards to the quarterback position. You have 2 rookie quarterbacks on your roster. You drafted one in the 3rd round at number 94 overall. You drafted one in the 5th round at 144 overall. The one you drafted at 144th, in my opinion, is a hell of a lot better than the one you drafted at 94th. That's going to create an issue because if Gabriel was drafted in the 3rd round and Shedeur was drafted in the 5th round, does that mean that, Gabriel comes in with a leg up? You would think it should, right? But I'm not going to speak for everybody. And maybe there are some people who feel that if he were just facing him 1-versus-1 in the 2025 NFL draft, that maybe Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were even Steven. I don't know if that's the case. My personal belief is that everybody probably felt Shedeur Sanders was a better prospect than Dylan Gabriel. Does Shedeur is the path that Shedeur is going to have to go maybe the extra mile? And we have local media. Oh, he's got no shot. There's 3 guys in front of him. It's Kenny Pickett. It's 40-and-a-half-year-old Joe Flacco, and it's Dylan Gabriel. If Shedeur Sanders wants to go out there and play his can off every opportunity he gets, I don't see a reason Shedeur Sanders can't go ahead and take this gig. And you have a locker room. You have a good amount of veterans. You have a good amount of young players on this team, right? If you're asking the veterans and maybe Joel Bitonio, Jack Conklin, those type of guys, who's your choice? Who are you riding with? Well, it's a little bit of an uneven playing field, seeing as there are guys on this team who have played with and succeeded with Joe Flacco. Also, some of these guys could be their last year maybe in the league, could be their last year in Cleveland. They certainly would like to go out on a high note, a big bang. So maybe their thought would be, let's ride with Joe. And maybe to a lesser extent, Kenny Pickett. But these young guys, watching, what happened at Jackson State, watching what happened the last 2 years in Boulder, Colorado with the Colorado football takeoff, rebirth, the wrist up, not my thing, but you think these kids, these young guys, don't want to play with Shedeur Sanders? Don't want to make their mark with the offspring of NFL hierarchy? So it's really going to be, it's not going to be an easy decision for the Browns and how they handle this quarterback room. Certainly for the remainder of the summer. Certainly once the season begins. It's not going to be easy. One of the things that can benefit this Browns franchise the most is that all these quarterbacks play well in every opportunity they get. They can possibly move one of the veterans for a pick. You've got 2 rookie quarterbacks, even though they're not necessarily, age-wise rookies, 123, 124. But this is the first time In 2023, it was different. It wasn't necessarily, because it was not Deshaun and it was guys like PJ Walker and DTR with the big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, of course, that entire Flacco phenomenon to close out the regular season, which got the team to the playoffs. In the 3 years you had Deshaun Watson as your quote unquote franchise quarterback, nobody ever felt excited. Nobody ever felt or was filled with hope. Now it's a lot different. And granted, whether or not Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders ultimately become a full-time, established quarterback one in this league, I'm not saying it's a long shot, but we are talking about one guy that was drafted in the 3rd round. One guy that had a very, very strange draft path, but can throw the football and can make all the throws. Let the fans have hope. Let everybody be excited. Why not? If they don't pan out, they don't pan out. The Browns can go back right next year and go take a first-round quarterback in a year that hopefully should have some. But the whole questioning of fandom and, and the questioning of, people questioning NFL talent about what they're doing in their free time. So some of what you hear from big media in regards to, these OTAs get too much coverage, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. But those same guys who were sitting in seats with cameras, microphones, and all this stuff in front of them on May 27th, May 28th, May 29th, certainly ain't complaining about the fact that they're sitting there talking about OTAs and getting paid. So you can't have it both ways. Would you like your contract to run at a different path, Mark Schlereth, where, you know what? You don't get paid for these months because, in your minds, none of this stuff matters and it should be covered anyway. So you want to scale down from your 12-month paycheck to a, 10-month, 9-month paycheck? Not everybody is a true sports fan where they say, you know what, fall to January, it's all about football. Oh, wait, come Halloween, I'm going to sneak in a little NBA. Oh, but wait a minute, I'm going to carry that baseball season into the fall too, and then also into November because that's basically about the time baseball season ends. Not everybody is a fan of all sports. There are plenty of people who are just straight football fans. Let them be. Let them enjoy themselves. I never understood this type of thing. My wife loves Def Leppard. We'll see them any opportunity she gets. Not my thing. Not my cup of tea. Are they probably past their prime? Yeah. Sorry, babe. But if she wants to go do that, knock yourself the hell out. Stop telling people what to enjoy and how to enjoy it. If people want to be all giddy over Shedeur Sanders, let it be. And I'll be honest, when's the last time you had a rookie quarterback in Cleveland that you thought might have a shot to be good? Because the last time we did, things soured quickly and everybody wanted him run out of town. Last time I checked, he's down in Florida doing pretty well for himself. So again, just let everybody enjoy what they want to enjoy. And getting aggravated on social media for those who are excited about it, don't read it. Don't respond. Block the account. Mute the account. Whatever. But if these people are fired up for Shedeur Sanders, who cares? Let him be. I'm not going to lie to you. There's certainly cachet to the name. Whatever I thought his deficiencies were as a prospect, I didn't say, he's going to be in Canada. The kid can throw the football. And you know what? Travis Hunter went number 2 overall. Guess who fed him to get him to number 2 overall? Yes, Shedeur Sanders. There's no reason for Browns fans to not feel a little bit rejuvenated right now. One, number 4 is out of here. You don't have to deal with that anymore. You served your sentence. 2, for the first time in 3 years, the Cleveland Browns have had a legitimate draft and high picks. Guys with expectations. Mason Graham, Carson Swessinger, Quinshawn Judkins, Harold Fannin, even Dylan Sampson. There are expectations of these young men. When most of your picks come on day 3 for the last 3 years, there are no expectations. The players were lottery picks. So the fact that Browns fans are now fired up, excited, I think we all agree we have no idea whatsoever how the season is going to go in terms of wins or losses. But we are excited about the kids that are here because it makes up for all that was given away for the one that couldn't get it done. There's a lot of young players here, and it makes sense for fans to be excited. They've been deprived of this for quite a long time. I'm excited about the new backfield. Quinshawn Judkins and Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford. I'm super excited about it. I'm excited about, a Harold Fannin, David Njoku pairing within a Kevin Stefanski offense that loves 12 personnel. I think Fannin has some special traits. I told you, Delanie Walker, former Tennessee Titan, had several stops before then, but the Tennessee Titans were the one that really found a way for Delanie Walker to be a ridiculously good contributor and consistent contributor. Was the most athletic guy, wouldn't blow you away with foot speed. Was a guy just knew how to read defenses, read coverage, and find the open spot. That is Harold Fannin to the letter. Super excited for what Harold Fannin can do. Swessinger is this raw ball of clay. UCLA for 2 years saw what he did on special teams, reworked some things on defense, and said, go ahead, kid. Here's your opportunity. And I love a kid who sees the opportunity. And that is exactly what Carson Swessinger did. Sampson, SEC Player of the Year. Maybe he wouldn't have been if Judkins hadn't left the SEC to go to Columbus and play for the Buckeyes and win a national championship and look damn impressive in the national championship game while doing it. I told you guys when the week started that this stuff was going to get a little crazy. It was going to get off the rails at times. And 2 days into it, that's exactly where we are. No question whatsoever. But Cleveland Browns fans, for so many years, have taken a beating September through January. But yet they get up off the mat every springtime and try to talk themselves into it all over again about how maybe finally this year could be the year for the Cleveland Browns. I'm not sure it's this year, I might be honest, guys. But it's certainly going to be fun the way to watch it all work. Just yesterday alone, I've talked a lot about, man, I think they might be one pass rusher short. Maybe I'm not giving Joe Tryon Shainka the respect he deserves. Was former first-round pick. Tampa Bay decided to watch the film of him playing with his hand in the dirt at the University of Washington and make him a stand-up edge. He eventually found a spot where it kind of worked for him. But I mean, you watch, whatever cut-ups are available from yesterday. Number 90, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was on a heater going against left tackles. Normally, that spot would have been occupied by Myles Garrett. But as we know, Myles is choosing to take a little personal time right now. And again, that is more than fine. Myles Garrett has given us a tremendous run to this point in his career. Doesn't owe us to be at OTAs. Doesn't owe his teammates to be at OTAs. However he chooses to be a leader is his choice. And I've said for years now, leadership comes in all different shapes and forms. Not everybody leads the same. Some people are not comfortable being a Ray Lewis type of leader on the field. Some people lead by talking less and letting their actions speak more. If you remember last year, Ravens rookie tackle Roger Rosengartner, approaching Myles in the game and asking him for his jersey and just saying, "Hey, big fan." Da, da. And you saw the way Myles spoke back to him. That's leadership. Even though he's not on his team, respecting his work, respecting his team as a whole. There are 5 bazillion ways to view leadership. And it certainly isn't measured by whether or not somebody showed up at a meaningless organized team activity on May 28th. I root for the chaos sometimes because it certainly makes the Browns such headliners to read about, listen about, because there's always something going on. There's always something going on with this franchise. I was actually talking with a friend last night, from NFL Network, and he just basically was like, my God, the way the Cleveland Browns, for a team that unfortunately has not had a lot of success ever, seem to dominate headlines, social media news, NFL shows. There's always ways that the Cleveland Browns are involved in these conversations. And I said, that's why I absolutely love covering this franchise. I get myself fired up to try to will this team into being good and hoping they're going to be good. Because in 20 and in 2023, there was nothing like it, man. I just hope it comes on a more regular and a more consistent basis. And for all of you diehard, lifelong Cleveland Browns fans, I hope it happens to the point where there's playoff games played in Cleveland. I hope it happens to the point where, we can say Cleveland Browns in the AFC Championship. Cleveland Browns, gasp, the Super Bowl. You guys deserve it, man. You were an incredible fan base. You guys want to be excited about everything that's going on with this team right now, man? You certainly have earned it and deserve it. And I hope this team starts to pay the dividends that you guys certainly deserve on the field. So we've had certainly some fun this week, and we'll continue to have some fun, talking about the Browns, talking about the new players, talking about, 4 new quarterbacks, who's going to play, how many of them are going to play, how much each one of them is going to get to play, who joins Jerry Jeudy, and hopefully getting that wide receiver room higher up in the rankings as far as production. Can Cedric Tillman, can Deontay Johnson, Jamari Thrash, can these guys contribute to the point where, it's going to make the quarterbacks look good? It's going to make the team score points. Hopefully the teams will win some games. All good stuff. We appreciate everybody who comes on out to the OBR every day, whether it's to read the written content from the group of writers. These guys put out some fantastic stuff each and every day. Whether you're coming out nightly for the OBR streaming network beginning at 6 o'clock, starting with me, Jeff Lloyd, hosting Browns 3D. Like I said, it's Thursday. All eyes on Cleveland. Brad Ward, Casey Kinnaman always do a fantastic job. Make sure you're here for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the OBR on YouTube. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to the OBR over on Twitch. This has been your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound. Browns 3D on the OBR, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow.